Hey, welcome, my crypto comics compatriots, to the
Hi.
How-To series, formerly creating comics. Don't forget to chime in on chat. It would be extremely helpful if you could share out the video as well. My guest for tonight is the one and only Jemma Young.
Hi.
Man, the crowd's going crazy.
Yeah, today we wanted to take a little sneak peek into kind of behind the curtain and show you, kind of show everybody what Gemma's been working on. So, yeah,
What she's been working on, or what she's going to show us how to do.
exactly what she's going to show us how to do. So, what can you tell us about this project that you're working on right now?
So I work on a number of projects all at once because I'm just that kind of overly ambitious, over my head type of person.
Wow.
So for tonight, most people know me for doing comics. I write and draw comics, and I do everything from coming up with initial story ideas, writing them down, storyboarding, all the way to coloring to publishing. So I've run several Kickstarters. I've printed several of my comics in book format, and I've helped other creators do that as well.
Awesome.
That's incredible.
So I wanted to actually kind of show everybody where they can get your stuff.
While he's pulling that up, I want to touch base with chat, because we already got chat going, guys, which is fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Rose Kirby, she's from the UK. She says, hey, hello, good morning from the UK, and it's great to be awake for the beginning of the stream. Wednesday, the 18th November, 2 a.m. UK time. Rose, you're awesome. Thank you for always showing up. We have D. Jackson. Cheers. And we have Spiral of Dragon. Oh, I love that name. What's up, Spiral? And then he obviously knows she works on everything, so Spiral knows something. Then we have Genny Aiken Russell. Jenny, I'm so sorry, Jenny. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. She's gonna kick my butt.
You
That's
just
Jenny.
botching everyone's names.
Well, this is what I do. I trash names live on.
He does. It's funny.
And then, you do everything all at the same time if possible.
Yes, dang. I do all the things.
Dang. And Jason says, hey.
Hey.
So go ahead, Matt. Show us where we can find some stuff from Jemma Young.
So if you guys look at the bottom of your screen, scrolling across on that little ticker tape, you can pick up some amazing stuff at gemmayoung.ecwid.com.
It's my store for the moment.
Okay.
Hopefully something better to come.
We're always all looking for something better, aren't we?
Now, guys, please.
Until you find the Children of Eldair, and then there's nothing better.
There's
mic drop.
Yeah.
Please, guys, go out and support her at patreon.com/Jemma Young. Okay. Anything helps. Okay. Let's make
really
these
anything
creators.
Does.
No, and it really does, guys. It's really important. These Patreons are what allows creators to really keep going and giving us the great content that we so need.
Amen to that. Yeah.
So please go to patreon.com/Jemma Young, and whatever you can give is so greatly appreciated. And no amount is too little. Trust me, anything is appreciated.
Yep. And if you do join my Patreon, I do give some awesome perks, including content early and extra sneak peeks and sketches and things like that. And also access to my Patreon Discord channel, which is where I drop all of my work in progress and I chat with people and stuff. So it's a lot of fun.
Nice. Very cool.
Oh, so I've been threatened already, just so y'all know. Sorry about that, Jenny. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Ashley Roth says hello. And D Jackson says, I won't argue. Messing with dragons is dangerous. Whoa. I'm a dragon, but everybody messes with me. Not very fair.
All right. So, Jemma, what you said that everybody kind of knows you from comics. What comics have you actually worked on in the past?
So my biggest one is probably Children of Elder, which is a completely self-published comic, and you can actually read almost all of my content online for free. Most of them are on Webtoon, so Children of Elder, Temerity, and Zelda's Lullaby are all available to read on Webtoons, the Webtoons app, as well as some other places such as Tapas and maybe Tumblr and stuff. I just post them wherever, so people on the internet maybe will stumble across them.
They're also in the marketplace.
Yes, I do post it to the marketplace as well.
So nice, thank you.
And so I'm best known for Elder, which I write and draw. I have about 120,000 subscribers on Webtoons. And then I write for Temerity, which is drawn by Chad Hardin, who's known for doing the Harley Quinn comic with DC. And he's wearing a shirt with Naya, who's our character from Temerity. And that's got about 60,000 on Webtoons in terms of subscribers. And that one's a sci-fi adventure. It's a lot of fun. And Chad does a fantastic job with the art. And we have Enrica, who is just a master of colors. Like, I'm giving the demo one colors today, but like Enrica's just like a whole nother level on top of me. She's just fantastic. So those are my two biggest ones. And then I also do a dumb Zelda fan comic called Zelda's Lullaby that I just draw for fun because I'm a super big nerd. Yes.
That's so awesome.
That is so cool.
So those are my three big projects right now, not including all the other things.
Yeah, you don't do anything small, do you?
I've started doing pins, like designing enamel pins, and those are nice, very small projects for me that I enjoy doing. I actually have some of them here if you want to see.
Cool.
Here's my board of pins.
Oh, wow.
That I've done this year.
Awesome.
Those are just
all
this
pins
year?
that you've done this year.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, I dig that one up top.
I'm like trying to angle this with. So we got.
I love that dragon one on the. Well, it'd be your right hand side. That one up to the edge. Oh, that's bad A in the black.
So
and red.
there's a black one and then a blue one. So this is part of our Constellation Pin campaign we did in September, and then we also have some Temerity pins here and some Zelda ones that I did for fun. And so this is my collection that I'm growing. So those are my little projects.
Those were all part of the sketch goals, if I remember right, from Temerity, right?
The Temerity pins were from Chad Hardin's art book number 3
Kickstarter.
Yes,
that's right.
So they'll be offered during the Temerity Kickstarter that we'll be doing in January as well.
Okay.
Oh, excellent.
So,
and then the Zelda pins was their own Kickstarter, right? Like you were doing a Zelda.
Yeah. So we had some Zelda pins and we made some Zelda rupees, which I forgot to bring down with me. But they're pretty dang cool. They're very shiny.
Love that.
So, yes, I did 5 Kickstarters between
this year,
June and now.
Between June and now?
Yeah.
5?
That is
you are
a little insane.
Got
actually.
it.
So, I'm just like right now they're all done being kickstarted, and one of them is complete, and then 4 of them are in fulfillment right now.
Very cool.
Holy crime! You're crazy, Jemma.
I am crazy. I am a very crazy person.
Every Kickstarter is a full-time job in itself, and you got 5.
Right?
Wow, that's
it's just not all of them were for me. 2 of them were for friends. Actually, 3 of them or 4 of them, depending on how you count it, were for friends. And people I love and care about and want to make art their career. So I went ahead and was like, I know how to do this. I will help you do this thing. And so I did the art of Starbite, and we made 70,000, and it was her first Kickstarter.
Wow.
And she did an art
70,000
book.
off her first? Oof.
Yeah, she's got a pretty substantial Instagram audience and Twitter audience. And then we did the art of Chad Harden 3.
Mhm.
So I do almost all of Chad's Kickstarters. And then the Pin and Rupee Kickstarter, the Rupees were a collaborative project between me and my brother-in-law, who really wants to get into props and costuming things. So that was an experiment to see if there was interest in this type of thing, that he could utilize his skills and maybe start making a career out of that. And then the Pins was actually a collaboration between another friend who also wants to move away from, you know, doing menial work and start going more into art. So I really love helping artists and creators help them figure out a way to monetize their incredible skills.
You are incredible. We just want you to know that.
Somebody owes you a vacation. That's all I'm saying.
I need one, yes.
5 vacation. Yeah. Real quick over on chat, I just want y'all to know I didn't botch Spiral of Dragon's name. They said so right there. I just wanted to show proof of that. So I just wanted you to know that. And then Ashley Roth says, Jemma is wonderful. We agree with you, Ashley. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
And then J.S. Smith, Digi Artist. Jemma, tell these madmen to put your links in the chat. Oh, you know, I will slap Matt.
You should listen to that guy. You should listen to that guy.
We are going to. We are going to. As soon as Matt jumps back on, we're going to freaking get them links into the chat, because I don't know where he was grabbing them from. Let me see. I might be able to find it. Give me 1 second.
I believe I did send them to you as well, Jared. So.
Oh, all those links? Oh, I can grab those. Was that all the links that he was showing?
Maybe.
Hey, I'm back. I think Jared must have kicked me out or something.
Did I kick you out too? At least I didn't ban you. At least I didn't ban you, dude.
True.
At least I didn't ban you. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Matt. And then Eben says, you are awesome. Oh, man, you got a lot of fans in here.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
Excuse me, guys. 1 second.
I do have a 3D printer.
Oh, excellent. Oh, my gosh.
Do I ever use it? I'm terrible at 3D, by the way. I cannot think in 3 dimensions.
What just happened? Okay, hold on. My chat just went all the way. Man, there are so many people chatting. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm like, there's so many people chatting.
Oh, someone just said I should get a 3D printer, and I do have one. Actually, funny story. I took a 3D modeling class, and I was so bad that my husband did all my homework. So.
Oh.
So bad.
No. Just 1 second.
D Jackson.
Right.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Sorry. I got lost in the chats because I mean they are just flowing in like crazy. Y'all are awesome. I just want to say that. I mean I know Jemma brings the crowd, so woo! We're having fun here. So Andrew, he's on crutches, ain't he? Still.
Yep. No,
everyone.
not anymore.
Oh, this dude busted his ankle big time. It was so bad. Oh, right on. Can't wait to see what the night brings. Cheers. Awesome. And then, some more Spiral of Dragon. Also, Patreon movie night and the regular Jemma art is worth it. Excellent. We will take that into consideration. DJ D. Oh, I was going to say D
Jackson.
Can confirm all these things for Patreons. Excellent. Eben. Hey, Patreon chat is very active and entertaining. Oh, really? So you have an active Patreon chat that's going there.
Yeah, so I have a Discord server, and a majority of my Discord server is open and public, but I do have a Patreon only section that I post a lot of extra content to.
Okay.
Very cool.
And the main Elder website, so they're hyping that. We got Chad Harden hype. So she works with Chad Harden because she's awesome. And wait for it. There's a shirt. Yes, there are shirts. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be giving away any tonight.
For shame.
But like we only give away the shirts on Spotlight, girl. Come on.
So I guess they all gotta come on Friday then, right?
Well, they definitely have to show up on Friday. But I believe that we will be there should be a badge, right? Will there be a badge tonight, man?
Yes, there will be a badge for that. Yes.
I have no idea what happens on Spotlight night, so.
Oh,
cool.
You didn't have any idea what was going to happen tonight, right? So
I thought I was going to be doing a coloring demo.
Yes,
we'll be. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll get to it.
You're so awesome. We can't get to it yet, right? So
okay.
We got to go through these 50,000 comments here.
Oh, heck, I know. Let's see. I count at least 3 other comics she works on. Oh my gosh, Jemma, you do way too much. 5 Kickstarters, 3 comics, pens, stones. Do you sleep?
I do.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Well, not this year, but yeah.
Yeah, not 2020. Wow.
All right.
Okay, let's get to the coloring. Someone's saying they want the coloring. Can we get to the coloring now?
Oh, did they say that?
Yeah. Can I add your screen?
Yes, go ahead and share my screen.
They're just blowing the chat craziness.
So
this is so cool.
So I actually have 2 ways to color art, and I kind of wanted to show both of them because a lot of creators, people starting out, they're always looking for different ways to come up with a solution for coloring. So I have 2 of my main solutions that I use to color my art. One is focusing on the grayscale first, which is on the left, where we just have a black and white image. And then the one on the right is a comic page, which is where you use the flatting method, which is where you put color down first and then you worry about the shading afterwards. So I don't know if people care which one that I start with first. Do we have a preference?
Guys, chime in on chat. Let us know what you want. Left or right first?
Left.
Left.
Okay. Oh, did you say chat needs to decide? My bad. Sorry, guys. I just stole your thunder. We'll give it a second. See, look. People were like, get to the I know.
Okay. You know what? Let's start with the flats that you have first.
Okay. So we'll start with the flats because, that is more, this is a comic channel. So I guess we'll do the flats. So I will just go ahead and slide this over a little bit. So here is my flatted comic page, and I left one panel here down at the bottom to kind of show you the method that I use. The rest of it is in partial completion. It is a page that I'm currently working on. And this method is very, very versatile, I guess, when it comes to coloring comics. People do it different ways. This is how I do it. And I will show you why this flatting method is so powerful. It's so I have my flats here, and I'm just going to turn off my colors here real quick and show you what this page looked like originally. So a flat is when you just do a flat color underneath. We just laying down the basic colors. So I have here the characters with their basic colors here, and it's pretty boring. And I will be using methods to build up shadow and light. I'm going to show you some comic pages that I have started completely from this boring flat color. And you can see here, you know, using your flats, there's a variety of different lighting scenarios here.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, we have, you know, a dimly lit interior to bright, sunny outdoors to sunset and bland interiors again, just using this method. So there's lots that you can do with this. So here I've got my main character. We're going to start with flats. Let's see here. We're going to select our layer down here. It's called the character's flat. And I have a little cheat sheet here. These are all of my swatches for the characters in this comic.
Okay.
And I have them all listed out. So here's Koei's eye color, his hair, his scar, his clothing, and then Embera's skin, hair, and eyes. This way I can keep colors consistent throughout.
Okay. Now, do you normally do it one panel at a time, or do you do individual sections like hair, skin tone, that kind of stuff?
I'll usually pick one character and just do all that character all at once.
Oh, okay.
And then go to the next character, just doing the whole entire page. Yes. So I have my character Iva here, and I'm going to just select her skin color. And on here, I am using Clip Studio Paint because I found this to be extremely, just like the best program that I have found for doing comics specifically. It has a lot of tools specifically for comic creators. So on this one, you want to click Refer to Other Layers. And you have these tools right here that are for closing gaps. So a lot of, you know, when you're doing your line art, you're going to have tiny gaps in there. Right in here. You know, right this, you know, sometimes like you don't quite close everything off.
Yeah.
So this tool right here allows you to ignore gaps, and it allows you to choose how big that gap is. So I don't know if this particular panel has many gaps in it, but right here, it ignored this group right here, this gap, and it didn't continue. Though if I turned this down and I click on that, it does collect that.
Okay.
And the settings on here, it does do area scaling. So that refers to how much it fills underneath the line art. So if we take a look here, this will be more apparent in her hair. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop some in her hair real quick. So if we take a look at her hair right here, if we turn off the ink, we can see that it's going underneath the line art by a certain number of pixels. And this is really helpful when you go to print, because in Photoshop and other programs, they will go up to the line, but not underneath the line. And when you're working in, when you're drawing your line art, you can see here where the lines are actually fuzzy at the edges. And when you're bucket filling, it will only fill to this gray line. So it'll have like this really weird gray area between the line and the flat color. And that could just totally screw up your painting. Like you have to go in and paint underneath. It's just a big pain. And it looks terrible when you go to print. It'll look bad digital, but when you go to print, it'll just look like the worst piece of art ever. So this is really handy. You make sure that area scaling is turned on so your line art is going underneath your lines. So we're just going to go ahead and start dropping things in. Oops. I just messed that up.
What did you mess up? It looks so
Oh,
perfect.
I just ended up grabbing the wrong tool because I have my tablet here, which is
Excellent.
hotkey to certain things. So when I click on it, and sometimes I click the wrong thing.
Oh, is that how colors keep like disappearing from places, but I'm not seeing like an actual mouse touching it or anything like that?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, man, I'm missing a lot of this. What's going on here?
Mm-hmm. So another cool tool that Clip Studio Paint has, if we look underneath here, we can see that there's some background. It's a computer. It's not human, so it can't just like recognize that, you want this filled right here. So it has this tool called Close and Fill. And you just select your main color and you just drag a circle around it, and it'll actually fill those areas with your color that you've got.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't realize that Clip Studio had that tool.
Yes. Most people don't, because it's just not a tool that's in other programs, so you don't think about it. It's actually one of my assistants figured it out and told me about
So
it.
that just got rid of those little blue pieces that were in the hair.
Yeah,
Like,
see, my background is blue, so if I just go like this, I just circle that, and it takes care of it for me.
Nice.
And for some reason, it's not liking this edge right here.
So in print, would those little pieces of blue? I mean, because when you span out in the digital, you can't see it, but would that show up in print?
Yes, it will.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So print. You have to remember that light bleeds, and so does ink. But light tends to bleed more and blend colors better on a screen than print does with dots on a paper. So on a screen, you only need, it's 72 dots per inch to make a very beautiful image on a screen to be full resolution. But in print, the lowest DPI, dots per inch, that you want is 150. It's almost double. And the more dots per inch, the better your quality your art will be. So I typically work in 600 DPI.
Wow, Fry's always yelling at me, 300 DPI, and I'm like, I don't know what you mean.
Yes.
600 DPI?
So my computer can handle it, so I do 600 DPI. If for those of you who can't afford a high-end computer, work at least 150. That's good enough, but you want to hit that 300 range if you can.
Okay. And what that will do is give you real super good clarity when it prints out.
Yes. It also allows scalability. So if you're drawing a piece of art and I'm doing this top panel, that's going to look pretty cool by the end, hopefully. Do you want it just to stay this tiny image like this? Or do you want to blow it up to maybe turn it into a promo piece? So suddenly, at 600 DPI, you can blow up your image at least 4 times without losing any resolution print quality when you go to print.
Okay, there is actually a question here, and you might have said, well, why 600 DPI? Won't it have to be compressed to 300 DPI when it goes to print?
It depends on your printer, actually.
Okay.
A lot of print-on-demand places, 300 DPI is more than enough. I print offset, and my printer is more than happy to get a 600 DPI image.
Wow. So can you visibly see the difference between a 300 DPI printed page and a 600 DPI printed page?
Most people won't.
Oh, okay.
I kind of can.
The trained eye. I got you. I understand how all you guys work, the trained eyes and stuff. All right. That makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. You know what you're looking for.
Yeah. Yep. And I can usually tell between an offset print versus a digital print and things like that. Most people won't care, but I like to keep my products as high quality as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So here I'm going ahead and coloring in things that, you know, can't just be bucket filled. So mostly just her eyes. And then on a layer on top of that, I will go in and add some blush to her character or her lips colors, just to add a little bit more depth. This is pretty slight.
Oh wow! I was about to. That, yeah, that's awesome.
But it adds a lot.
Yeah, it does. It
And like,
like form almost.
yeah. And also at this point, you know, you could go in, you could add in some scars, you can add in freckles. Like if I add freckles in here, I could do that. That looks pretty cute. Anyways. So, you know, I typically just layer it on top, and you can use this tool right here called Clip to Layer Below. And what that does is it attaches it to this layer underneath.
Mm-hmm.
So if I decide I want to put freckles on her, you can see my brush is very, very big here. So it's going to have overspill, right? But if I paint it, it stays locked to the layer underneath. So if I unclip this here, you can see it's spilling out.
Mm-hmm.
Versus if I turn that on, it locks it to that layer underneath. It acts as a mask. So that is a handy tool. Also on this layer, I would go ahead and add textures, which I'm going to go ahead and do on this character. So I'm select my wand tool here, and it just selects this color. I think that's the only place it shows up. And I'm going to add a texture here. This one right here. I just drag and drop it. And suddenly I have a really cool pattern.
Oh wow!
On this
Yeah,
character.
Neat.
And it tends to put it in the wrong place, so I'm going to just click and drag it down here. What's it doing? I put it in the wrong place. There's lots of layers in here.
What I'll say.
And, you know, if I wanted to, I could just go in here and just add so many layers, so many patterns if I wanted to, because I love patterns. I'm just going to show this as an example, just again. That looks terrible, but...
That's awesome. What are you talking about?
Okay, come on. Where's my pen? It's thinking really hard. There it is.
Now it went through a bunch of places. So it's every place that oh, that's cool. It went and found every place that was, and is changing it all at the same time. I thought that was on her over here. But that's just wherever that shirt is. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, so I selected the color range with my wand tool, and then I just placed it on top, and it creates a mask right here. So if you see on this layer right here, I can actually go in and paint more. And for some reason, my pen stopped working.
Oh no.
Well, while your pen, while you're dealing with that pen, I've got to address something with the shirts, because I've caused somewhat of a situation with the shirt. So let me explain to everybody what's going on. So during Spotlight, what we do is we create a shirt for creators, and it's a co-branded shirt, and we give that shirt away as a prize once or twice on the Spotlight stream, which will be on Friday at 7.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be using Jemma's whatever she gives us to make that shirt with, and it'll probably be Children of Elder or something of that nature. And so that's the shirt that I was talking about earlier. And a lot of our regs, they come because they know they can win those shirts. So all of Jemma's fans, I just want you to know that come back Friday, because you could get the chance to win a shirt. We don't sell them, though. Somebody had mentioned in the chat that they were wondering if you could buy shirts. We do not sell shirts. We only give them away as prizes for doing things like running into the marketplace and answering a question or something of that nature, something fun. So I just wanted to address that real quick.
Jemma, don't you actually have some shirts on your store?
No, I haven't figured out how to do that.
Someday.
Someday.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's something I think I should do someday, but I don't know how yet. And since I have so many other things going on, I'm like, well, shirts can wait.
Yeah, just add it to your list. Just add it to your list.
I'll just add it to my list that's just keeps going.
Boom. You're welcome.
Okay. So we're going to move on to the next part, which is shading.
Mm-hmm.
This can get very overwhelming with how I do it, but it can be simplified. But I just want to say that I take this a little overboard.
No such thing.
So I have here a colors layer that is specifically just for my shading. So I'm going to turn this on so you can see where I'm at so far. And it is a pretty big folder. We can see some of it here on the right.
Oh, wow.
And this is my current shading. So I'm gonna toggle this down so it's as simple as possible for the moment. So I have here at the bottom my environment shadows. So I'm gonna go ahead and control click my flat layer. So if you press control, and I think on Apple it's the Apple button, and you click on a command button, you click on this little picture thumbnail of your layer. If we do that, you can see here it has selected everything that exists on that layer. Right. You can see all the characters have this little wandy outline thing. We can go to the main folder that contains all of our coloring here, and then we can go ahead and bucket fill that area. And you can see here it's been masked. So that way, whenever we're coloring, we're only affecting the stuff inside the mask, which is our flat layer.
Okay.
If you guys have any questions on what these things mean, please feel free to ask, because sometimes I'm just get into my art lingo.
And I will make sure that I put those up. I'm more up on top of chat now, so if you guys put questions into the chat as she's running through these things, I'll make sure that I get them up there and we can get those questions answered.
Yep.
So right here now they're fighting in chat or fake fighting. So
okay. So if I were to go in here and drop in a color, I'm just going to show you this as an example on this layer underneath and make it a solid color. You can see that the solid color is only affecting the characters. This is what we want. We only want to color the characters in this step. So if we go down here, I have a white folder and a shadow folder here. And inside, we're going to start with the shadows. This is basically what makes up our shadows, what colors, what attributes. And you can see in here, I have several colors here that are on a multiply layer that make up our shadows. So if we look here, our shadows are kind of this bluish gray color. Right now it's at 33%, but if I bump this up, the shadows get darker.
Oh, wow.
And if I decide that I don't like the blue color for my shadows, I just tap a color in there.
So did you set the parameters of the shadow first? Like you laid out where the shadows would be?
So this one I'm showing as an example over here where I have put the shadows down, what the parameters look like. Okay. So like right now my shadows are orange, or I can make them more green, because depending on your lighting, your shadows will change.
Oh, that looks so cool. Like a green orb is off to the side.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just going to stick with the blue. When I go from one page to the other, I just copy the entire color layer folder over onto the new page. That way, all my lighting settings are the same throughout an entire scene.
Oh, wow.
So I never have to do it again. And this way, I never have to color pick. I never have to think, okay, if it's this lighting, then I need to paint it more blue. I never touch this color wheel over here once I have things set up.
Okay.
So I have here my parameters, and then here's the layer. That one I don't actually use in this situation. But let's see, where did it go? It's right here. So there's my shading layer. It's a little messy right now, but here we're going to actually just start painting. I use, for starters, a pen brush where the hardness is pretty low. And since I have my shading all set up, I just painted my shadows.
You just got compared to Bob Ross, Jemma.
Oh boy.
But cooler.
But cooler.
No fro. I don't have a fro, so I don't know if I can be. It's cool.
It's all in the skill. Oh wow, that. Wow.
So I just go in here and I just tear through this. Adding in my shadows.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want harder edges. Sometimes I want softer ones, depending on what we're coloring. A general rule for hard versus soft shadows has to do with it, whether it's a cast shadow or what's the word? Shadow based on curvature. So
a cast shadow is where like a light's shining down and it's what's behind the object.
So a cast shadow is, see, she's got her hair right here. This will leave a shadow on her face. So it's the shadow an object casts onto something else. Okay. So this shadow would be hard.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Versus underneath your nose or the cheeks especially, our face curves downwards, which is what creates a shadow. And depending on the steepness of that curve will determine how soft or hard a shadow will be. So my glasses will cast a sharp shadow, but the curvature of my face will create a smooth shadow.
Oh, okay.
Right now I'm just focused on getting the base shadow shapes down.
I love this.
So now that I have the basic shapes in, I can go in and smooth the shapes using a different brush that's a little bit softer and more of a blender.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Rose Kirby asked a quick question here. How do you make what to display, what coloring, what shadowing? And I'm maybe the question we just answered might have answered that.
So what colors do you choose for your shadows?
Oh, excellent.
I'm guessing that's what the question is. A lot of it will be dependent on your lighting situation. So this one is an exterior outdoor setting. So in general, when you're out in the sunlight, the light is very, very warm because it's the sun, it's yellow. So your shadows are typically blue. And the reason for that is there's the general rule, if your light is warm, your shadows will be cool. And if your light is cool, then your shadows will be warm.
So your shadow, if your shadow is going to be a cool shadow, it's a blue tone. What is the warm tone?
Typically yellow. So if we're outside, the warm color is going to be yellow because the sun is yellow. And the cool shadow is typically blue, and that is because the sky is blue.
All right.
The general color of your environment is going to be blue or green.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Jared. Focus, brother.
I try. I know. Drew's calling me out.
We do have another question. How do you decide where to put a shadow? And is it something you understand better with practice?
That is something you understand with practice. Doing studies and things like that will help. This one, it's outside in the daytime. It's midday, so the sun's going to be coming down generally from the top down. So it's pretty straightforward. Coloring is very, very dependent on your lighting. So when you're setting up a scene, you think, where is my light source? Can I create better light sources to make it more interesting? And that'll affect how you move from there.
Does the light source also affect like the mood of the page or anything of that nature? Do you ever take anything
Absolutely.
like that?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Sometimes I will totally just ignore the setting and just paint it according to emotion. And sometimes I will put them in a specific setting to encourage that emotion that I'm going for.
Okay.
So if it's a darker emotional scene, then I'll put it more at nighttime. Or there's one scene that I kind of showed here where it insinuates a change in characters, a change in an attitude of a character. And I put it at sunset.
All right.
So it's just kind of like, are things really black and white between these characters? Sort of thing. We're moving forward in this relationship. So, warmer tones and things like that. So, yeah, setting up, knowing your mood and then going for that in your colors can definitely help move your story forward.
So you would take you have like a dark environment, but you might use like a brighter shadowing technique to show like a brighter situation within that dark environment.
So if I'm trying to tell something more romantic, you actually turn down the lights and you introduce a warm light source, like a candle or fireflies. Or something like that can change your mood. If things are romantic and everything, the lighting is warm, the shadows are cool, but then suddenly the guy says something really dumb and it just turns everything off and light flickers out and it just gets all smoky.
Sounds like my life. Oh wait, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
So there's lots of things you can do with your lighting. And actually, the most important thing about coloring is actually not the color. It's the lighting and the composition. You can get your lighting and your composition right. Your coloring can be terrible, but your picture will still look good. If it goes the other way, if your colors are really, really good, but your composition and your lighting are bad, your values are bad, doesn't matter how good your colors are, your picture's not going to be that good.
You do purple super well. So sunsets are your thing?
I love purple. It's my main color. You see that background picture you picked?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's purple. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so I got the main shadows here. And I've actually got it for pretty much these 4 panels here. And I'm actually gonna show you something really quick here because I have this mask out. masked off really good. I can actually go in here. I have this dark blue that is completely masked. I can actually go in here and let's see, where is it?
Real quick, there's a question here that I'd like to ask. Do you ever experiment with coloring or shadowing, trying to see what colors do or what different shadows do? And that's from Rose.
Yes. Sometimes I will totally make an act like I'll accidentally pick the wrong color and it'll be like, oh, that's cool.
Huh.
Your fans obviously know that you like purple.
Yeah, there's this, yes. They just instantly recognize my work by the fact that there's like a ridiculous amount of purple in it. Yes. So I went in here and I just added some more darker shadows in here just to kind of push the faces a little bit more. And there we go. So we have our shadows down. I'm actually going to click Alt. I believe it's the same on the Mac, but if you press Alt and you click on your mask here and you drag it up to this top layer and let go. So right now you can't really tell what it's doing.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I invert it.
You inverted?
I inverted the mask. So what that does is everything inside this folder that I paint in will only affect the light areas and not the shadows. So I have this yellow that I've set up. That way all my lighting is consistent throughout. And I can actually just go in here and just paint in my highlights, part of my highlights.
Oh, wow. Okay, I can see that. That's incredible. It really brightens up their face.
Mm-hmm.
Adds a lot more contrast to that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So this affects my lights. So again, I chose a warm yellow color because it's outdoors to contrast the blue color of the shadows. Mm-hmm. And typically, sometimes I'll use blue and sometimes I'll use yellow. It really just depends on the situation. I have yellow set up here. Now I go up to my layer that's on top of both my lights and my shadows. So it basically just layers on top of it. Mm-hmm. And I can go in here and add in my highlights. Let's turn this way down. Takes a time. And this is just a pure white.
Mm-hmm. So you're still going with that softer edge on that?
I am trying to decide actually. Let's see here. I realized I put the highlights on the wrong side of the face. So the light's coming from this direction. So the highlight will be on this side of the eye and not the other side. There we go.
Oh.
So for the highlights in the eyes, I usually typically go with something pretty hard. And then depending on what I'm coloring, I will do something softer light. I'm actually going to go to an add glow layer here. I have another yellow here that I like to just hit the hair with. Let's see.
Nemariel says, purple sushi, golden sun.
Those are my 3 favorite things.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. Eben says, I wonder what the other colors for shadows would look like.
We can go ahead and swap those out if you want real quick once I get this done. So another layer style that Clip Studio has that Photoshop doesn't is called an add glow layer. And this is basically what it says. It adds a glow to your work.
Really?
So if I just pick yellow here and I paint.
She's glowing.
In the highlights. This is really great for effects for like fire and things like that.
Oh, wow.
But I like it for my highlights.
Yeah, that looks fantastic in the hair.
And it
That
just
really...
adds that last touch of it just makes everything pop.
You know, I always get yelled at for using that term with designers, but you're right. It popped the hair out. That was incredible. It almost it gives it a whole new dimension.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. Oh wow.
So here's another step that colorists typically forget about. It's the what is the word? Not a cast shadow, but reflective light.
Mm.
So the reflective light is typically this similar color of your shadow. Because we're outside, it's blue because the sky is blue. And what will happen is the blue sky light will hit the ground and it'll bounce back up. So you have light coming from the top and you have light coming from underneath. And it's easier to show than to talk about. So I'm just going to do this and you can see what this does to this character. We're just hitting bottom edges.
Oh my gosh.
That really
Onto
does
the
give it
character.
that three-dimensional look. I like that a lot.
Yep.
Holy
Suddenly,
crap,
she went from
that's
being two-dimensional to three-dimensional.
That is incredible. And that's the reflective light off the ground.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I can't believe what a difference the glow and the blue reflective light makes. That's incredible.
Yep.
Like it really pops. Ha! Take that, Fry.
So there you go. There is our character.
Wow.
Finished.
That is cool.
I can't believe how different it looks. That is incredible. Like,
so it's just a lot of colorists, they get really, really close to the end and then they stop and they just miss that one last step. And it's usually a very simple, easy step that just takes it to the next level of looking complete and more three-dimensional. So there you go.
How subtle it was. Like,
yeah,
how subtle the marks are. Like, when you started putting, I'm like, I can't make that big of a wow.
Now,
so, I mean, there is turned off versus on.
Wow, that is incredible. It totally makes her 3D.
Oh yeah. Now you use that same glow, right? But just the shadow color.
Yeah, so for the shadow reflective light, I just color pick this blue. And for the highlights, I just color pick this yellow.
Okay.
You know, and sometimes I just eyeball that. Or sometimes I'll just grab it from my swatches to keep it consistent. And then at this point, I just go in and I color in the background. It's already been an hour, so we could just skip the background. I don't know what you guys want to do, but
well, actually, sorry. Go ahead.
Matt.
No, I was going to say that. Okay. I was going to say there was that other picture that I'm really excited to see too, because I deal a lot with like the grayscale going in on that way, but so I'd love to see what you do with that.
Yeah. So anyways, this is a really good way to color comics. It will keep your pages consistent. If you copy these color layers from page to page for the same scene, you can progress them. Also, you can use color balance layers, and I'm going to show you that real quick because I forgot about it. Sorry. So if I go up to here and you create a new correction layer, they have brightness, contrast, hue and saturation, reverse gradients, levels, tones, color balance, and gradient maps. I use gradient maps and color balances the most. So a color balance, it shut up on my other screen, just give me a second. this adjusts the colors on your page. So we have shadows, halftones, and highlights. So if we take our shadows and we add more blue, you can see that. More cyan or no, more blue.
Oh,
Maybe
wow.
pop some magenta, and you take the halftones. You can just kind of mess around with this to find what you're looking for. But already we've entered a whole different lighting scenario. We pop the highlights with the yellow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can take it to an extreme. You can make it more
tell
subtle.
Fry is missing out. He just wanted to tell me and Matt, one at a time, fellas. Thank you, Fry.
Yeah, so that's a color balance right there. You can turn them off. You can make adjustments after the fact. You can change them whenever you want. And they can really take your image and like move it into your setting that you want even more, or adjust your setting without too much work. Also, another great thing about this coloring method is if you need to change your colors, your base colors, it's really easy to do. We just refer to our main layer and we go there and we just color drop it in.
B. Jackson says, there's a reason I consider Leonardo da Vinci one of the greatest humans of all time. Because art is magic.
Art is magic.
Rose said, her hair looks like she's next to a fireplace. It's glowing, looks great. Thank you, Jemma.
Thanks. So, I mean, right there, I just easily went in and popped in different colors, and my shading all stays the same. I don't have to paint anything over again.
Wow.
It looks good. If we want to...
Nim Maril said, also, I'm not sure digital art isn't witchcraft either. One slider changes so much, which is what you were just talking about. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, in like, let me think of another. So, like, I can go in here, add a new layer in my lighting, and pop it to a soft, we'll try soft light.
Spiral wants you to make her hair Naya purple and her skin.
Wow.
There's the lighting a little bit more green. You know, like it's
wow.
It is very, very handy.
That is incredible. Oh, wow.
There's her with purple hair.
Do the purple skin. You got to do the purple skin. Do a super soft.
There you go, purple skin.
That is incredible. With green eyes. Ah!
So there you go. There's some fun things with color.
Wow. That is so cool.
Yes. Anyways, there we go.
Oh.
That's how I color comics. Backgrounds are done in a very similar manner. Sometimes I'll paint them, just freehand paint them. Sometimes I'll just go and do a multiply layer and paint on top. In general, when you're painting backgrounds, keep in mind environment, what's it called? Perspective, environmental perspective, lighting perspective. And that's the idea that the farther away an object is, the less contrast there is, and the more blue it appears. So our eyes can't see certain colors from certain distances. And also the our environment, our sky is blue, and the particles in the air are blue. So the farther back an object is, the more blue it will appear. Because of that, is our atmosphere is blue. So when you're painting, less contrast, the farther back it goes, and the more blue it becomes.
Okay.
Wow.
So don't have like a whole lot of time tonight to go over everything, but yes.
Dude, that was awesome. What are you talking about? Standing ovation.
So what comic is this actually for?
This is Children of Elder.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't know that, Matt?
No, I was
I
just
can
trying to
prove that.
find out like what issue it was, or
I'm just kidding.
I'm going to save this real quick so I don't have to do it over again. Yes, this is Children of Elder, currently on chapter 20. So this is page 11 of chapter 20.
wow.
So we're getting up there. We are over 500 pages into Children of Elder.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh. Wow.
That is fantastic.
So I'm going to close a couple of things here. And I'm going to show you how to color
Ooh,
a
this is
black
what
and
Matt's
white
been
image.
waiting for. Look
So-
at
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah, I'm so excited right now.
Real quick, this is a method that I do a lot of my painting, so single one-off images, because I'm not as worried about consistency nor about speed as much. It's like comics is you have your deadline, you got to hit your deadline, be as quick and as efficient as possible. Whereas my paintings, I try to take a little bit more time and be a little bit more loose and creative. So here is one painting I've done using this method.
Wow.
It started off as a black and white image. I'm trying to find another piece that I have done.
Andrew said, we appreciate the amount of time you spent, Jemma. Thank you. That was awesome.
Amen to
was
that.
really awesome.
This is another one that I did what was black and white originally, and just added color on top. And just one last one to show.
Whoa.
So this was also done doing black and white. Just started off with pure black and white and then added color last. So this goes back to the idea that color comes second. Composition and lighting and values come first.
So composition. What do you mean by composition? I'm not very smart.
Composition is how the image is set up. So how the objects in the picture are organized and how things are spaced out. This is a very simple composition where the main character is basically right down the center.
Okay.
And the composition has to do with how does she interact with different objects in this image. So we have the moon in the background, and we have these demons down here that are surrounding her. And you want to make sure that nothing in the art is conflicting with one another. And this is a hard thing to learn because it is very abstract. Basically, when you're learning, all you can do is draw a picture and have someone tell you why it's not working. To be able to fully understand composition or be able to put up images like, here's where composition is done bad.
Oh.
Like that's the best way to learn is like, okay, this is how it's done wrong and this is how you fix it. So, yes.
So composition is the number one important thing. What's second?
Composition and lighting, which I personally think go together.
Okay.
Because like if you look at this image, it's already a pretty exciting image, even though there's no color on it. You can tell what's going on, even though there's no color. Does it work the other way around if you have a lot of color on a canvas? Not necessarily. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah. This image is very active, and you can see that the light's reflecting off of her back, and it's coming out and kind of putting her front and center in a more bigger pose.
Yeah. So a good thing when you're learning how to color and doing art is working in black and white, or doing a color layer on top that turns your image black and white so you can look at it and be like, can I still tell what is going on? If you make your image black and white and everything just kind of turns the same color or the same value, then there's your problem. Focus on the lighting first. and then work on your colors.
Wow.
So here we have this image. It's pretty much complete on its black and whiteness. So I'm probably not going to do this whole thing tonight because it's a pretty big image.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to give a basic overview of how to do this. Let me actually check out some layers here.
Is this Jasnar? Did I just
Yasna. Yasna.
Yes.
One of the images I showed, it was Yasna from the Starlight Archive.
Okay. Yeah, they're saying it. So this isn't Yasnar.
No, this is not Yasna. It was the other image, the blue. This one right here. This is Yasna.
Okay.
Which I realize I'm showing this one and it's not even a finished one, but whatever.
Really?
It's not the finished version. I don't know what the original.
Excellent. I can't wait to see it finished. That would make an excellent shirt.
So is this picture going to be the same resolution?
This is 600 dpi, 12 by 24 inches.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because I felt like a good idea at the time. So I'd rather go big and make it smaller than be like, oh, I want to print it bigger, but I can't. So my computer can handle it, so I might as well. So I have my black and white image here. I went ahead and added a new layer, and it's a soft light layer. At this point, we're going to pick the most...
Real quick, Gemma.
Yes.
Rose just wanted to say, this is why I love looking at comics online. There's so much that can change. It's so wonderful and great. Thanks for a great stream until Friday night. She's bailing because she's in the
okay. Thanks for stopping by, Rose. So on this, we're going to pick what is the most used color in this image. I'm just going to go with blue. So I'm going to pick a general blue here. And I'm just going to drop it on here and wait a second because it is a very big image. It doesn't look great right now, but it just gives us something to work off of. So I have this tool called an oil sponge, and we just start painting, basically. We just start laying down basic swatches of paint, of color. And this is one where I do a lot of color picking on it. And
how are you getting that lighter? Oh, you're doing that with your little remote control-y thing.
What?
Well, when you start, it's a color, but as you get closer to the demons and stuff, it gets lighter.
It's because I'm putting it on more thick.
Oh, okay.
So you can't tell what I'm doing on the in terms of the pressure, but I'm hitting it harder right here. Okay. So I had this lighter blue. So it started off as this dark blue. You can see over here is this really dark blue on the right. And then I grabbed a lighter blue and I started painting on top.
Okay.
To make it lighter. That's what was going on there.
I was like, is this pre-programmed or something?
Yes, the computer just knows how to do everything. Yes. The computer does all the work.
I doubt that. Oh, you got a new patron.
What?
Yeah, way to go, Andrew.
Oh, cool. I don't know what that means. Is it linked to my page?
I think he joined your Patreon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Patreon page.
Nice. So it's really quite simple at this point. You're just throwing down color. And you're just blending the color. I have a specific brush that I use the most. It's a blender brush, basically, that allows me to lay down paint and blend it as I'm going.
Wow. It's like reflecting off of her. That's so awesome. Oh, that looks so cool.
But yeah, just
Wow.
it's pretty.
Is that
basic,
a blood moon?
Yeah, it's symbolic or something. I don't know. I don't know.
I love how just natural you make this look. Like, oh no, I just slap this on real quick and look.
Yeah, just nothing to it. You just do a little cha 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 cha.
You just throw some magic on it and poof. I don't know.
That's why I was wondering for a minute there. I'm like, how does it know to change the colors like that?
See, I would have just done the blue overlay and been like, "Hey, everybody, look, I'm done." How awesome!
I know.
Is
I thought that picture was incredible, but now that the color is starting to add, this is getting pretty incredible.
Yeah, so like the areas with more light, I'm just putting down more color. And the layers that don't have as much light, I'm just leaving that blue. In fact, I have to go in here and paint back in some of that initial blue color that I had. Just to, because right now we're just saying that the lighter areas have more color and the darker areas are a shadow, which is the blue color. And then I'll go in here and I'll add in some skin color. But I don't lay it on super thick. I'm keeping this particular piece more subtle in its colors. Everyone likes to use colors differently, whether it's more bold or just more subtle, and it will change depending on the piece as well. But on this particular piece, it's meant to be more subtle.
Yeah.
Like a hint of color.
Those demons are in for it. You can tell already.
So when you're actually, picking your colors, do you actually look at like the color wheel? It's like, okay, this is a complementary color here, so I have to even it out or anything like that, or do you just go for it?
It really depends on what I'm working on. This character already has kind of her set colors that I have for her. So like her hair is red, but I guess it really just depends on what I'm working on.
Okay.
That's not very helpful.
No, it is actually.
It's basically like, yeah, it's just all skill.
Well, a lot of it is just practice over time. Like it's not something that you just naturally have. It's something you have to practice and learn and figure out. I think I'm not quite happy with her face. I think it just needs a little bit more color or something.
Spiral says, Jemma, flex.
So, I just go through the painting and I hit swatches of color And I just kind of color pick as I go.
D. Jackson says, when Jemma flexes, even Hulk shows respect. Oh my gosh, that looks so cool.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe how much of a difference it's already made. I mean, I thought the picture was incredible, obviously, from the get-go, but yeah, it's changed so much.
Mm-hmm. Just a little bit here and there. Like, color goes a long ways.
Colors is really important to me. I've noticed that with the comics I've been lucky enough to get to read from all the amazing creators in the marketplace, and color is just something huge. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like color can set a book apart.
Yes.
And your coloring is just top tier, top shelf.
Thank you. I think color makes such a big difference in comics because when in comics traditionally, the coloring is what adds the value, like the whites and the darks. And so coloring can make or break a comic. Whereas I feel like in certain other spheres, it doesn't quite matter as much. Because like you can have a great pencil or inker on a comic, but if it gets handed over to someone who doesn't know what they're doing, it really can just ruin the art, no matter how beautiful the line art is.
The coloring can ruin the line art, is what you're saying.
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. No, I was just making sure I was following. I heard a few creators talking about that one time. Like they do all this hard work and then they hand it over to a colorist and it comes back and they're like, "What did you do to my picture?"
Yeah. I know that Chad has had some colorists that he's like, never again.
Wow.
And I am fortunate enough that I just do my own stuff. Well, in DC and Marvel and those big companies, the inker, the penciler, they don't get to choose who colors their stuff. It's all at the whims of the publisher.
Oh, that's a little scary. So
Yeah.
if their friend is a colorist and they suck, then I don't like that at all.
Yeah. So, okay, we're just going to move to the next step here, which is doing the add glow layer. Huh?
Okay.
Are we looking at Eva right here?
Yes, it's Iva.
Iva. So, I am just
I call her
destroying
Iva.
these names.
It's totally fine. They're like makeup fantasy names, so whatever.
Still, Iva. That's the softest Iva has ever looked, and she's destroying demons.
Yes, she is. She's gonna do it. So right here, we're gonna go ahead and do an add glow, and because the moon behind her is blue, I'm just gonna hit it with this blue.
And just so you know, your crew says, "This is Validate Jemma Hour, and I'm here for it." She deserves it. She does. Hey. So just so you know, Jemma, we all think the same. This is incredible.
Amen to that.
It's incredible what you're doing.
Thanks. And like I don't know exactly what I'm going into every time I go into color a piece. Sometimes it's just experimenting as I go. So like I'm just adding in this blue because I thought that might look good. And so far it's actually looking pretty good.
Yeah, I love that.
See, I would have never thought to add that blue to the hair. I like that.
Oh, look, I was focusing so hard that your fans noticed. And then I wasn't focusing anymore, so they're saying I look comically focused. Wait a minute. But then he said, he's probably doing the same thing. Thank you, D. Jackson. Thank you. Because how can you not focus on this? I mean, this picture is coming to life right now. It's incredible. Like, I can't believe that just the metamorphosis that we're witnessing right now. I know big words, like mayonnaise. D. Jackson says, experimenting because we do science.
Science.
We love science.
We love
Man,
science. We love science
that
a
blue
lot.
is really highlighting her hair fantastically.
And it has to do with the complementary colors you were talking about. Like, I just don't even think about it anymore. But, like, yes, blue is not an exact complementary color, but it's pretty close.
It's the exact same color as the moon, if I'm not mistaken, right, Jemma?
Yes.
Ah, excellent.
So we have the cool light and the kind of warmer shadows. In fact, let's try something real quick. She's got this fire at her feet. So, theoretically, her cast shadow or her reflective light would be orange.
Ooh. No way.
Just a second. I gotta fix that.
Maybe this should be the shirt. Oh my gosh. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That is... Man, you just know where to put it. That is incredible. Seriously,
So-
I'm like, where would you put it? Just start doing it. I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense.
How long does a picture like this normally take you?
I think the black and white part of this image took about 6 hours.
Wow.
And then the colors will take another few hours.
See, I'm looking at like 3 weeks and it won't be half that good. So,
Well,
I'm looking at the rest of this year.
Well, it has to do with finding your method to, to create art. So a lot of in art school and stuff, they don't really they make you do a lot of different things. And part of it is just the teacher just wants you to do it their way because that's how they know how to teach. Some of the good teachers, it's because they want you to figure out what method works best for you, because every artist works a little bit differently and has their different process. And the difference between a slow artist that's learning and a good artist who is fast and good at what they do is they have figured out their process. They know this is the look I want to go for. This is the project I want to do. They know exactly how to get from the start to the end. And it cuts down the time and it increases their ability to actually finish something because they know how to do it from beginning to end. And I think a lot of new artists, they get burnt out because they're like, I've just spent 20 hours on this painting and it's still not done, or it's still not to the point that makes me happy. And I think that's part of it is they haven't figured out their process that makes their workflow efficient. And that's something I feel like a lot of art schools don't talk about is efficiency. How do you become efficient as an artist? And they're focused on like, okay, what's the deeper meaning of this piece and stuff? But it's like, what deeper meaning doesn't matter if you can't finish the piece and hit your deadlines.
yeah.
And I feel like that's probably why Elder and Temerity have been, or the projects that I worked on have been able to last and gain an audience is because I'm able to hit that deadline because I have my process. Like when I first started Children of Elder, it took me 16 hours a page from start to finish, at least 16 hours. And now it takes maybe 6.
Wow.
D. Jackson is asking if that's a dress over armor.
It is a dress over armor. She has her very large petticoat tied up in the back.
Oh, right on.
Because
That aspect of hitting that deadline is a constant in the comic book industry, and you know, to me, this is one of the biggest things about this medium is you know where a page like this is going to run you 10 hours by the time you're done or so, 15 hours. I mean, that's practically 2 days on just one. This is one set image, and it could be one image within a panel. That's incredible. That is incredible, and that's I mean, that's one of the greatest things about comic books, in my personal opinion. I mean, I love art. Oh, I love art, and man, to see the way that this comes together is just, thank you, Jemma. This is such a treat.
Oh yeah, you have no idea.
This is incredible. Like, I can't believe what I'm seeing, like how much this picture has changed. It's always great to see the end result, of course, but man, to see it as it's being created, and then to see you go, oh, you know what? I think I'll just try a little blue in her hair. Oh, that looks great. It's like, well, I don't even know. My brain's melting.
I love how easy you make the fire look too.
Right? I was wondering how that was going to go, and then she's like, soup, 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 soup. I'm like,
I know.
It's so cool. Yeah, this Spiral says, and then people read the whole comic in 15 minutes.
Yep. I'm like, I just spent 300 hours on this. They're like, cool. Where's more of it? I started today.
Oh my heck! Wow, that is incredible. Now to see that this is such a great example of that reflective light that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
oh, and I like how you brought in the purple. Now, wow.
Can go ahead and add some more of that blue in. So now we have like that kind of that clash, that complementary color going on where you have the blue and the orange. So blue and orange are complementary.
Wow.
So that works.
Look at the demons, they're all like, whoa, get back.
Yeah.
Before it didn't appear that way. It looked like they were kind of swarming up, but now it looks like they're kind of like backing up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
But we could probably... Oh, I'm doing it on the wrong layer. That's why. Let's see. See, now I'm just taking away a little bit of the add glow and erasing it.
Okay.
Just to kind of give some of the stuff in the background a little bit more depth. And then let's just go ahead.
It looks very sword maiden for sure.
Yeah. Then for the eyes, we'll do blue because that's what it is in the comic, but also because of that complementary color, it just pushes them farther away from each other. And you can kind of see where this is going, but
oh yeah.
I'm just gonna add one more effect that I like to do for this type of thing. Just gonna grab some orange here. And I kind of did it here. I'm just gonna pick like a really bright color. And turn up the particle size.
Oh, little embers coming off. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yes. Yeah, that makes that. Oh my gosh, that's so perfect.
I always like to add little sprinkles of light.
Mm-hmm.
Fairy
It
dust.
just adds like a little more, I don't know, texture, interest into a picture.
So, speaking of the texture, coloring something like kind of a shinier metal, like from the sword, versus something like a darker leather from armor or something like that. How does the technique itself change?
Um, it has to do with your values. You can go in and add certain textures. I could show you a little bit actually. Let me just give me a second to do this. I'm just blurring it slightly. Do you see that? That's what it was.
Let me go back in and okay.
And I just added a blur to it just to, push it back so it's not so much of a focal point, but it does still add that texture. Metal is interesting. It is highly reflective, so it has a very high contrast between the shadows and the light. So when it's light, it's like blinding white.
Mm-hmm.
When the shadows underneath are just almost pure black, and then the change between the two, the gradient is more sharp.
Okay.
So it doesn't go from light to dark smoothly. It usually has like a sharp, harder edge, which I kind of had in here like a little bit. So like on this light edge right here, you can see right here, it has a hard edge between the light and the dark in this area, which kind of gives it more of a metal feel. And here the edge is sharp as well.
Okay.
So it's still something I'm learning how to do, metal, but yeah, I don't know. And then textures. I'm trying to think if I've got any good textures in here.
I'll go putting that flat on her.
You know.
What?
Just a second. I'm gonna do something real quick. Just to show you guys something that you can do. It's gonna look terrible for a second.
I was gonna say you're right.
Oh, come on, Jared. You know she's going to make it look good.
Oh, no freaking way.
So all I did is I threw it on a soft light layer, which takes into account the shading underneath and on top.
So freaking cool.
So if you want to add textures and stuff to your art, it is possible to do it and make it look good.
Now just do the sleeves, and there's the dress under the armor. Right?
Yeah.
Oh. That is so cool looking. Oh my gosh.
So when I do add these sort of textures on top, it does kind of affect the shadows. Like it's not quite as dark, or as light in certain areas. So when I would normally add the textures in first, and then do all my add glow layers and things like that, just to make sure it stays consistent. And we can also go in here and do like an overlay layer that's just black. Maybe. Let's try multiply. Just to bring some of that shadow back in there.
Oh, right.
But it's like if I'd been planning for it, I would have done it a bit differently.
Right.
But it still works. It
still looks freaking incredible. Especially when you put that first blotch on there, I was like, ooh, oh.
You think it wouldn't work, right? But
right, totally.
We did get it to work pretty good.
Pretty good? I would say like killer. And she looks like a killer, so.
Well, Jared, have you been taking notes?
Yeah, Gemma's awesome. I think that's
all
what
right.
my notes are.
Because Jared, it's your turn. We have a picture for you. You're gonna start coloring here.
Let's now see, guys, everybody. It's been nice.
Let's see, my thing is saving. Is that what it's doing? It's thinking real hard right now.
I'm still blown away that texture actually like worked the way that it did. That is just incredible. Because when I first saw it, I was like, what?
No.
Yeah, like right, like, nah. But now, like, it really makes the outfit look genuine. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's a dress. It's a dress with armor, and you know, and dresses are nice and beautiful in arrangements, and so incredible. So incredible.
Gonna try something real quick.
Oh.
This is called a gradient map. So gradient map takes into account your values. Mm-hmm. So here, you know, it's matching the whites with white and the blacks with black, and everything in between is grayscale. But if we switch it to a different gradient, it does the same thing, but just with different colors.
Whoa.
So there are several here.
Oh, purple.
Trying to find.
Green.
Do green.
Green's my favorite color.
You know, he's going to have you go through every one of the colors out there, so.
Oh, man, don't spoil it.
So I can put in these overlay layers to just kind of affect the colors just a little bit differently. So it's like this is this green one, this yellow and green. But if we go to this kind of a sunsetty sort of thing, it adds a little bit more purple in there. So I'm not sure I really like this, but I just wanted to show it just so you can kind of see the different things you can do with gradient layers.
Wow.
Nimbaril says, well, it's about time of that night. I should probably head out. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for stopping by, Nemi.
Much appreciated.
It's getting late on the East Coast.
I know, you have been so nice. Thank you so much. Tell your family thank you. This has been incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, I think that's good for tonight. I mean, anyone who watches this can hopefully figure out, you know, how to finish a piece.
Oh, this has been incredible, Jemma. I mean, serious. That looks so awesome right there. I can't believe how much it's changed.
Seriously, this is amazing.
I mean, that's what we started with versus
which looks
that's
awesome.
What we ended with.
Incredible. We went from awesome to incredible.
Yeah, and a lot of it was just, you know, adding color, but also just pushing the lighting that we already had established in the picture. So one thing that, you know, people can do to practice this method is to take a photograph or a piece of art that they really like and just change it to black and white and use the same method to try and learn how to add color in.
Okay.
All right.
Wow. All right, guys, take one good last look at it because I'm about to take it down.
All right, everyone.
Boom. Oh, my God. That was incredible.
That was amazing. And yeah, we are at an hour and 45 minutes, so we should probably let our distinguished guest go.
But thank you. Thank you.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
And I've got a
So-
broken back, and this hurts.
Don't do it then.
No, you deserve it.
No.
You deserve it. That was incredible. That was incredible. I mean, that was so fun to watch. That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I can't wait to show my boy this because he's getting into drawing and stuff. And I keep telling him, oh, you got to color your stuff. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, Dad. He's only 13. Like, so this has been just incredible.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you so much, Jemma. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
It's been
Well-
fun to do it.
to Jemma and to all of you out there in chat and those watching, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Remember, guys, use all these tips. Oh, and Gemma's gone.
Wow, she bailed. She had to go.
Yeah, she was like, I'm
So
out.
let's make
Okay.
sure. Let's make sure that we put those links up for her. Just give me 1 second.
Oh, she's back. Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, dude, you pulled a Jared. That's funny. That's funny for you. Now you know what it's like. It just happens.
All right, guys, get out there.
Give me
Check
1
out her
second. Give me
Instagram
1
right here.
second.
Jared,
Give me
Jared,
1
look at the screen.
second.
Jared, look at the screen. Jared,
What?
look at the
What?
screen. Look at the screen.
Oh no. You do that. I'm gonna do
Okay.
something else.
All right, so check out her Instagram. We got her Twitter right here. But please, guys,
All
get
links
out
are
there
in
on
chat,
her.
guys.
All right. Get out there on that Patreon and yeah, let's support Jemma. Thank you so much again.
Hey, everybody, give her a hand. Give her a
Amen
hand.
to that.
Come on now. That
Thank you
was
so
incredible.
much for hosting me. It's been a blast.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure, Jemma.
Yeah.
And everybody, thank you so much. Your fans were awesome in chat. Guys, everybody who joined us, thank you so much for being a part of this. Share it out. Let's get this out there so people can be introduced to the incredible talent of Jemma Young. She is fabulous.
Amen to that. And come back on Friday. We're gonna do the spotlight with her. It's gonna be awesome because I have so many more questions now. So many more.
That's right. So Spotlight is Friday at 7 p.m.
Mhm.
You know,
Mountain Standard
well,
Time.
I can't say that. I was
Mountain
gonna say,
Standard Time.
Same Crypto Comics time, same Crypto Comics channel.
So we got a couple giveaways. We got a badge that you guys can earn. Don't miss out. Come back on Friday. Can't wait to see it.
Oh,
Right.
we're just holding everything for Friday. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
All right. And
We are out. Later,
That's it for us.
Nation.
bye, guys.